Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Stahlmann.
This is neat. I like this. Okay, so I'm going to spend the majority of my 10 minutes talking about my close personal friend George and how we met. I hate to do this on a cold day, but it was a beautiful Burbank day, and I was driving my 2001 Saturn, and I was at a red light, and up alongside me in the right-hand turn lane, also on a red, was George Clooney. And he was looking all Clooney, you know, like he had it all together. He was in a convertible, like he woke up 10 minutes ago and somehow has it all together. Some guys have, you have that. Some guys, we're happy for you. I don't have that. And I was talking on the cell phone with my mother like a good son. And I do the old twisteroo to kind of get a better look, you know, pretend like I'm stretching my back to get a look, get eyes on the prize, and I'm busted. And George looks at me and he says, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "I'm talking to my mom, telling her I'm looking at you." And he smiled at me and he said, "Say hello to Mom for me." And then he drove off. Oh my God, it was such a cool moment. It was such an amazing moment, except it wasn't at all an amazing moment, because I realized at that moment that he had it, and I did not have it. And here I was, this young actor on a rise. I just got done doing 45 seconds on Cold Case. Things were happening for me, but I did not possess what he had. And it was sort of depressing to me. And so I went home to my spacious 200 square foot apartment, and I did some soul searching. And I decided to think about what do people who have it have? Not just movie stars, but people in your lives. You can probably think of some that just have it for you. There's something that you're drawn to. And I thought about the very basics, right? Is it talent? The good news for me is it is not talent. Because this is a picture of a man who has won 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor. Only human to ever do that. But if he came through those doors right now with a shirt on that said, "I am Daniel Day-Lewis," we would struggle to come up with his name. This is not a slam on Daniel Day-Lewis. He's a great actor, but I promise you, nobody in this room has ever said, "You know what? I'd like to have lunch with Daniel Day-Lewis." Those words have never come out of your mouth, right? So it is not about talent. Good news for me. Also good news for me, it's not about looks. You guys don't have to worry about that, but I do. It is not about looks, because Danny DeVito is a 3-foot-tall butterball. But he has it, doesn't he? He has something that we are drawn to. So what is it? Well, in my 13 seconds with George, there were 2.5 things that he possessed. There were 2.5 things. First thing, I like to call it the gift. Everybody I've ever met who's had an encounter with George Clooney says the same thing. He makes you feel like the most important person in the room. And if you are regularly doing that at your businesses, if you are making people feel like the most important person in the room, eventually you will become the most important person in the room. Because people just like that. George didn't have to spend 13 seconds with me, but he did. He made my day. And this is about little things. Little things. It doesn't take hardly anything. This isn't a 40-hour-a-week assignment. As a matter of fact, do this very quickly. I only have 10 minutes in case you didn't know. I want you to turn to the person next to you and simultaneously with them say, "You're awesome." 1, 2, 3, go. That's right. Okay. Hey, I told you I only have 10 minutes. I only have 10 minutes. Cut the chitter chatter. Cut the chitter chatter. Okay, that felt good, didn't it? It was this little thing to make somebody feel important. However, I did trick you. There's something I didn't tell you. That person now is your importance buddy. And we're going to take, right now, the importance oath. So I'd like you to repeat after me. I, your name here. That never fails, right? That always happens. Do solemnly swear. That I will uphold my commitment to importance. With my importance buddy. Except I really won't. As I'm only doing this because I have to. But someday I'll have a beer with my importance buddy. And laugh at the ridiculousness of this oath. On second thought, I'll have a vodka soda as I am trying to cut carbs. Okay, now we have importance buddies. This is great. So that's the first thing that George had. The next thing that George had, I like to call the connect. Now, a little bit easier for him. He's a movie star. That was our connect, right? That was something I could connect to him. But we can make a connect in our workplaces, wherever we are. Let me tell you how I accidentally found out about one of my connects. See, when I was a single guy and at the bars, I would compete against Handsome Guy. And Handsome Guy wears deep V, beautiful, and he shows off his pec work. And I don't have to tell you that I have not done that work. Underneath here is, words don't really do it. It's like kind of a sound. It's like, what is that? You know, it's just mush. It's man bod, right? Or a dad bod. That's the whole thing, right? So I had to come up with something at these bars to compete with Handsome Guy. So I wouldn't wear deep V. That would not work. I wore goofy t-shirts. And one of my favorite t-shirts was a Dolly Parton t-shirt that I had. And one night at the bar, I'm wearing this Dolly Parton t-shirt, and I'm having a great moment with a girl in a Burberry scarf, and I thought things were going well. And she gave me the brush, a move I was familiar with, and the next morning, I get an email from a friend of mine who I need to tell you was not at the bar with us that night. She was not there. And the subject line said, hubba hubba. And then in the email was a link to Craigslist missed connections. Anybody familiar with Craigslist? Okay, so for those of you who aren't, take the creepiness that you know Craigslist is and crank her up a notch. What Craigslist Missed Connections is this place where people who thought they had a moment, maybe passing on the street, can write on a wall, like kind of a post to say, hey, did you notice me? It's usually a creepy guy in the corner of a coffee shop. But I mean, honestly, these posts are a riot. So I had an older computer and I knew I could risk virus, so I went ahead and clicked on it. And it said, Dear Guy in Dolly Parton t-shirt, it's me, girl in Burberry scarf, had a great time, would love to get together. And I thought to myself, my God, my connect is so accidentally strong that a friend of mine who was not there at the bar with us that night knew that this was me. So I quick called her up. I'm like, how did you know that this was me? And she said, Jack, you're the only straight guy in the 5-state area with a Dolly Parton t-shirt. This had to be you. And I said, okay, a quick follow-up on that. Why were you on Craigslist Missed Connections? A little murkier there. But the point is, we can create these things. You know, maybe you have a favorite color you wear. Maybe you have a favorite brand of shoe. Maybe you have the awesome candy dish at work. None of that Smartie crap. I don't want that. I'm talking the Kit Kat, the good stuff. Is there something that people connect to you? And finally, what George had was the mystery. Now, this is a half because it's a little bit more difficult. In the 13 seconds I was with George, I was mapping our lives as best friends. And then he disappeared, right? There's something, this is not science, this is Jack science. There's something that humans are wired, we are wired to be wanting that, wanting to be left wanting a little more. I'm not sure why that is, but it is 100% true. Next time you're out networking, try the 2.5 steps of the Intangible It. You be the first one to leave the conversation because it creates a little mystery. So you can do all 2.5, right? You can say, this has been a great conversation, right? We're given the gift. I'd love to pick this up sometime, right? We have this connect, but I gotta go. Can I get your card? Okay, thank you, and you disappear. And if you think that's not important to go out on a high note and say, good night, everybody, essentially it is. Because John Ratzenberger, who played Cliff Clavin on Cheers, actually auditioned for the part of Norm. And it's a little known fact, as he used to like to say, that he did a terrible job. He did a terrible job in the audition by his own admission, and on his way out the door he thought, I'm just gonna try something here. He said, you know what this script needs? This script needs a lovable idiot who sits at the bar and doesn't know anything, but thinks he knows everything. Every bar has one of those, and that's what this script needs. Good night, guys, thank you. And he left, and the producers looked at each other. John Ratzenberger was saying goodnight. I wasn't saying goodnight. I'm sorry, would that have been an odd ending? I'm gonna go over on my time now. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah, John Ratzenberger leaves. And the producers look at each other and they say, that's exactly what this script needs. And the character of Cliff Clavin was born. He never even auditioned for the part. So with that being said, you've been a great audience. I'd love to pick this up sometime. But I gotta go. Disappearing. Can they still see me? They can't see me. Thank you.
Nice stuff.
You're just as